Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Super Scope. It's a really pretty interesting weapon. Well, it's not a weapon, it looks like a toy, but it's a controller. It's an actual controller that you use for a Super Nintendo. Oh, you're asking me how I got this thing. My jacket's pretty much dirty and it's being washed again. And I decided, might be cool wearing this hat. So, let's get on strap, review the Super Scope, because I have 3 games that I want to talk to you guys. The first thing you might want to know, how does it work? Well, you need to buy a Super Scope adapter. This isn't an actual connection. It actually plugs it in to the Super Scope. First up we have is Mortal Kombat Falcon's Revenge.
Nintendo presents.
Okay, so you know what seems to be a problem? The Super Scope doesn't work if you plug the AC in. This is when I found out. At first, when I had the Super Scope, I always thought it was broken, but I found out that you needed to plug this adapter to player 2, and it works. I don't get that. How did Nintendo do something like this? Why couldn't they connect it to player 1? It's like the NES zapper. They plugged it into... Wait, did they plug it into player 1?
In the very beginning of Mortal Kombat, I like how they have the voice acting.
1993. Nintendo presents.
It actually reminds me so much on Star Fox. In fact, let's bring up Star Fox and show them how they're similar.
Come in, Cornelia.
This is Cornelia, Pepper speaking. Congratulations on a job well done.
Roger. I take that to Cornelia.
The game is mostly similar like an actual arcade game. As you can see, the enemy is someone riding a giant machine while you're also riding a machine, but you're in first person view, so it's a prototype to the first person shooter games. It reminds me so much of the animes that I watch. Alright, let's talk about the game. The game is simple. You cannot let the enemy attack you, but also you have a charge meter, kind of like a charge shot from Mega Man. It's really fun to play, but at the very beginning there is a training mode in this game. It's really fun, and in the bottom there's some items you can use. But once you get used to the Super Scope, you are now king of the bombs. I wish this game had its own anime. That would have been so much fun to watch. It probably would have been a movie because this game is really long and it's hard to beat. I also like how the opponent just literally tells you that he's through, he's just done, he's done. But of all the moments that I struggled in this game would be the mission where I have to fight an opponent while falling down. This is one of the most hardest moments in this game, cause it's either you kill that bad guy or you fall down and you end up dying. Let's just say this is a suicide mission. But in the way, it's a good game, but one of the most frustrating ones, like I said before.
Next we have Yoshi's Safari. Yeah, it turns out that Yoshi actually got his own game on the Super Scope.
In this game, you can actually decide whichever level you want. I guess it's in the vein of an arcade. Apparently, you're riding Yoshi, but you also are using the Super Scope in order to avoid any enemies. You can collect items in order to increase your power meter. Yeah, This is actually one really fun game I love to play, but be careful when you shoot Yoshi because you can end up losing. There's a mini boss, which is the first thing you'll start, but then at the very end, you'll reach to the actual boss. Here's Lemmy in his giant Lemmy armor. In order to defeat Lemmy, you have to aim at the eyes. You know, that's actually something I've never seen in a video game before. The game also moves the camera to let you know where you're going to be moving for shooting. And once you defeat Mecha Lemmy, now you actually get to shoot Lemmy as many times as you want. Why? Because it's fun to see his reactions. Although Lemmy is hiding and he's not even proving himself that he's a man. And once you do, you blow him off like if Lemmy was saying, "We're blasting all the way again." Yoshi's even staring at us in the back, just saying, "Can we change another game?" As a matter of fact, we need to continue, so let's change another game.
And finally, the game that included Super Scope 6, the game that included with the Super Scope.
Let's start off with Blastrous. Blastrous has 3 games, but the first one you're looking at right now is sort of like Tetris. Well, technically, Blastrous is actually Tetris, but this you have to shoot around. Obviously, that's what the goal is. You gotta make sure that you can't reach at the edge, otherwise it's game over. You only have 2 shots, so you can only use 2 at a time every time a Tetris piece falls down or goes on the edge. Then we have matching blocks to make it look like, well, technically it's still Tetris, but it's in 3D. That's actually pretty impressive. But the goal is that you have to make sure that all colors fit in the same fire. I think that's what it is, right? Then you got this game, what seems to be those creatures from Super Mario World just saying, "Hey, you can't shoot me." I've noticed that there's a heart meter for those creatures, and there's also points and a score, and even a time limit. Now we're in Blazer Laser. This is another game included with the Super Scope 6. Now this is more like you actually shoot. It's really hard when it comes to trying to shoot at the TV while also trying to concentrate on the game. The next one seems to be what appears to be a game where it moves around itself, but your objective is not to let any aliens attack the base. To be fair, this is pretty much fun, and I like it, and at least it does a better job than all those arcade shooter games, because every time I tried shooting, it wasn't even working with those. This one also features who has the highest score. I'm not joking, this is actually pretty cool.
Now that we're done with the review, well, technically, think I'm done reviewing those 3. I mean, this is, I've heard at the time it was I've heard that this item is one of the most rarest things you could actually try to get. And I got this very cheap. I only got this piece. The adapter I had to buy to another video game store. And every time I kept on, like I said, I kept on returning the AC adapter because I thought this was broken. So all my friends have actually said, "Oh yeah, let's see how you can beat it." And I clearly had told them, I let them try it, and they didn't turn out well. And then people were like saying that, "No, you're cheating because you're using you plug it you have higher skill." I don't get that a lot. I mean, I told them this, "How much do you want to bet that Roxas Ruby has the guts to actually beat all of you with this weapon?" It looks like a weapon. In fact, in my family in Mexico, they didn't call this a Super Scope. They called this the Nintendo Bazooka. I'm not joking about that. They called it the Nintendo Bazooka because it looks like a bazooka. Think about it. You have this right here, and you have the a little dot here which actually tells you where to shoot, and it's also something. However, there was actually another piece supposed to be included, which I don't know what it was. But the good thing is, you can take this off, and you can just simply go like that. So yeah, you can go Terminator or James Bond or something like that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Super Scope, and I will talk to you guys later.